Well, hey, here we are. It looks like the picture's a little fuzzy over in here, and that's because it is awful froggy out here in, where are we at? Sutherland, Oregon. Loading up lumber going to Carrollton, Texas. So, I had a question sent to me asking about possible Civil War and rioting and all that, and what my theory was on it. On everything that's gone on with everything in the election. So, let me throw this out there. It's not a kid video. This is my opinion and my opinion only. Opinions are like butts. Everybody's got one and they usually stink. So, since I will put out there that I am more on the conservative side than the liberal side, if you're easily offended, it's probably not a good video to watch. So, we'll give you time here in a second to turn it off, leave, whatever you want to do. Go from there. Meantime, I'm going to drink some coffee. Okay, if you're still here, here we go. Alright, so here's my opinion on it. I think the rioting is going to continue no matter Biden wins, no matter Trump wins. I think that the left said it right the other day in the debate, because I watched it, and Biden said that he decided to run because he's screwing it up for them. His exact word is you're screwing it up for us. Okay? That means he's screwing it up for the globalists. He's screwing it up for the elite in the government. Another thing is he won't list anybody that he wants to put on the Supreme Court. He won't say anything that has to do with packing the Supreme Court or any court with liberal judges, because that will become the focus. Well, you damn right that'll become the focus. You don't want to put out there. And your economic plan, Mr. Biden, Bernie, it's Bernie's economic plan with AOC's, Green New Deal, which is $100 trillion. No gas, no oil, people out of work, stuff like that. So they would use the riots as in, okay, now people's getting shot, so now we need to come in and make this executive order that you can no longer own a gun. It's like Chuck Schumer said, everything's on the table. They're going to do everything they can to destroy the Constitution, when according to the oath, it's to defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And if you break that oath, then it's an act of treason, which means it's a military tribunal, which means you should get strung up from the courthouse. So there's that. Another thing is if you claim to be a Christian and believer in Christ, and you say, yes, I believe in the Bible and all that good stuff, and then turn around and you're willing to vote for somebody that says, hey, at 9 months we should be able to kill this baby in the womb or out of the womb, yeah, I ain't buying it one bit. Because there's some things you just can't compromise on. And killing the innocent according to the Bible, Jesus Christ is one of them, because he chastised his disciples on a regular basis and said, you let them children come to me. Sounds like I'm getting a little fired up. I can get fired up real quick on it. Do I agree with everything Trump does? No, I don't. Do I feel he's the best? Yes. Why? Because he has eliminated restrictions and let the economy and businesses grow, and this is a capitalist nation, and that's what builds on it. So the man paid $750 in taxes. What, y'all jealous because you didn't have to pay $750? I wish I could pay $750 in taxes. He's not the one that wrote the tax code. Biden's been in office 47 years. Him and everybody else has wrote the tax code. So in a debate the other day, speaking of tax code, do I think that Biden get rid of the Trump tax cuts is going to sit there and raise taxes on everybody? Well, yeah, it's going to raise taxes on everybody, even the poorest of the poor and the middle class people. Why did he sit there and say he wasn't going to raise taxes on anybody making less than $400,000? Well, that's amazing, because the president makes $400,000 a year. So that's everybody in Congress is going to get exempt. Everybody else is going to have to pay some more. Because why? What's his favorite phrase? Just like Obama, your fair share. You're not paying your fair share. Besides, how does somebody making $175,000 a year get rich? There's an old phrase out there that says anybody gets rich in politics is crooked. A bunch of crooked ones. I believe there should be term limits. No more 2 for Congress, no more 2 for Senate. You got your Congress, you can run for Senate. After Senate, you can run for Congress. It gives you 20 years. You ought to be able to retire on that. And I think there ought to be an age limit between like 30 and you can't run. You know, if you're in office at 50 and you're trying to get your 20 out, fine, okay, I get that. But, you know, at 65, 70 and all that, no. I also think that if you're diagnosed with a terminal illness and no matter what form of government, it ought to be forced retirement. So you just can't hang out and whatever. But, you know, that's just my opinion. And like I said, it's going to stink for a lot of people. Whole access of civil war coming. Telling you what, it's a good possibility if Trump don't get reelected. But if Trump gets reelected, then you're going to have to give him the House, the Senate, and everything else. Because all they're going to do is continue to fight each other. And there's no longer, you know, back in the day, you could work across party lines, and it's not that way anymore. This is a full frontal assault on a global agenda to make the world globalist and a new world order, as in George H.W. Bush after Reagan said, which he was a globalist. George W. Walker, the second Bush in the 90s, was a globalist. Clinton was a globalist. Obama was a globalist. Biden's a globalist. So it all comes down that if you're not in their little party, you're not going to do whatever. Okay. Why do you think they're coming up with fiber optics? Oh, it's technology. No, to put 1 million people out of work. Why do you think they're taking all the wood light poles out and getting galvanized up? There's another 1 million people out of work. Okay. What are they going to do when they say, hey, you can't drill oil no more? There's another 500,000 or 1 point something million out of work. What happens when they say no more coal mining? Okay, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, they just went out of business with part of Wyoming. So there's a whole bunch of people. So what do you do with all these people out of work? The government can't afford to feed them. Okay, so there's that. Is it a good possibility? Sure is. Because you know what? There's probably a lot of true patriots that took that oath that's not going to sit there and let this country get run into the ground. Are there a lot of people that are all talk and no walk? Sure is. Here's the sad part is, though, is you got all these people dressed up in black hoods and masks running around at night burning stuff down, calling it peaceful protest. It ain't peaceful protest. It's rioting. That's act of terrorism according to the Patriot Act. Because you're infringing on somebody else's liberty to do what they want. I think all y'all need beat with a brick stick. But here's the thing about it is they're being funded by somebody. Then people are starting to get out and buy guns and learn how to use them and everything else. So the left's not stupid, and everybody that says, hey, you know, it's a bunch of people with blue hair that are chunky, they're underestimating their enemies. And let me tell you from experience, the number one thing you can do in a combat infantry unit or any combat unit is underestimate your opponent. Vietnam got our ass kicked because, one, we had our hands tied. Second, they underestimated everybody. A lot of people did over there. So they didn't want to fight, and then all of a sudden a bunch of Chinamen come in from China, and trust me, them boys wanted to fight. So, hey, you don't ever underestimate your opponent. You get your ass whooped that way. What's another thing that goes on? Oh, okay, here's one for you. In Switzerland, people are ordered to kill their livestock and not buy new ones. There's another big old deal going out there that said Australia run out of rice. Oh, okay, so there's that one. The big valley in China that supplies 70% of rice just for the China population flooded out, and they're talking about their harvest is going to be non-existent this year. I did a video on some of the food packing that I do because I eat oatmeal and stuff, and I can buy a year's supply rather quickly and fit it up because I'm the only one that'll last me a year. But everybody should probably be buying extra food and everything. So hang on a second. Alright, sorry for the slight interruption. Had to get moved around here so they could load me up. To answer that question, yes, it's a very good possibility. Should everybody have been preparing that enjoys their freedom, because freedom isn't free, and I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery? Sure do. Another thing is I think this whole coronavirus deal, I'm not saying people aren't getting sick, but I do know for a fact somebody tested positive. They were the only ones that showed any symptoms. Everybody else had been around them during that time is tested negative, so evidently it's not as contagious as they're saying. Not giving any names of that out, but trust me, it's somebody I know that got sent home from work because of it, and people that live with them have went and got tested, and they're all on the quarantine deal, and they're following it. But one is tested positive, it was sent home, everybody else has come up negative. If that changes, I'll let you know. But at this point in time, all bets are off the table. Trump wins election. Like I said, if Biden wins election, they're going to keep riding and just so they can take more of our God-given rights away. Trump wins, they're going to keep riding because Trump won. And that comes into a whole new deal of, do you send the military in because that's actually against the Constitution, and constitutionally the states ought to be able to handle it. But I also say, hey, at one point in time, if you're not willing to do what you need to do as whatever, then yeah, the federal government needs to come in and put you out of power. That is also in the Constitution. But hey, nobody wants to bring that up. The cashless society, why is everybody going for that? So they can track every move of every minute of every day. That's what they're doing that for. Plain and simple. No ands, ifs, or buts, or anything else. Is it really going on? The only problem that I have with it is in a liberal Portland, Seattle, California, New York. Okay, these are all liberally run areas. Okay, just like the mask. Okay, I was diagnosed with asthma or a running difficulty, which is a breathing disorder. According to HIPAA, you can't ask me about it. No, I don't have to wear a damn mask. Get up here, people will literally scream at you, holler at you, refuse to do business with you, and everything else. That's fine. I carry food, coffee, and everything else that I need. People got to smarten up, because if you're going to sit there and yell at me for something, I won't spend my money. It's plain and simple, all there is to it. I think it's a farce just to get people to use that card so they can get rid of it. And why they use change? Because if they said, oh, we got a cash shortage, everybody in the country would lose their mind, and they can't do that. So at this point in time, my advice would be to, every time you go to the store, buy a little extra. Safety concerns from everybody in the world says you should have at least, 90-day supply. Okay, well, here lately you'll see, well, if you don't have a 30-day supply, and to give you an outlook of it, if you can make payments on some stuff, get a hold of Patriot Food Supply. I did it. You can get a 30-day supply. They will go ahead and send the food out to you and bust it up into 4 payments for you. So, okay, there's that. I think we're in perilous times as a country, and it's in the exact battle of, here we are. If we don't win this one, the country as a free nation will be lost. And as Reagan said, we are the only shiny city left on the hill. There is no place to run to. Now, for all you commie bastards out there, if you do not like the freedom that you have in this country, and you want socialism, move. Please pack your bags. I will buy you the plane ticket. Okay? Leave. There's plenty of them out there. All y'all that think free is free, you're going to sell your soul to the devil. There's that. If there's any other questions, I appreciate everybody that's subscribed and watches videos and shares the videos. We love y'all. I know there's a video going on with the beehive at the little hacienda. It's not looking too good because some things went awry, and we're trying to resolve that problem. We will let you know how that goes. But other than that, stay vigilant, be safe. Please like, share, and if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. Do me a favor, share, get the algorithm out there, because everybody out there has been blocking me. I have been shut down out of social media sites. I am limited to how many times I can share it with somebody. Other people I've talked to, I'm like, have you been limited on your sharing capabilities? No, I have been. I was actually banned, not banned, my account at one point in time was disabled by Facebook for saying something that they didn't meet it, prove my identity. And then you got to go through all their hoops when they're acting as an editor and publisher when it's a platform. And it's even said that in action code of the freedom of speech, blah, blah, I can't, but it's section 206. It says, if you're going to act as publisher and editor, you're opening yourself up to a lawsuit. And that means if you do something wrong to somebody and sue your ass, and they can win it, acting as a platform, you're protected as that. Well, anytime you go in there and you fact check me through your fact checkers, or you do this or you do that, you're acting as a publisher and editor. So please be careful. People are getting tired of it. Other than that, we love y'all. Stay safe. God bless you. God bless these United States of America. Be vigilant. Stay safe.